Okay. So value patterns can be dramatic and established quickly, or can be more subtle and build interest gradually. The drama of lights and darks set the mood and directions of the piece immediately. So a tonal composition study, which is what I'm going to have you guys do today, refers to the arrangement of darks and light shapes in a drawing, painting, or scene. And this is an example down at the bottom here, which I will kind of pull into view. This is an approximation of the steps the brain takes to see an image. So I found this image online through this fine artist. And it's a really good representation of how we see things when we're presented a whole image. So this is like a really basic breakdown, and basically he's blurred all of these and shows how our eye like reads a piece, and it goes from general to really specific shapes. So tonal composition studies they're somewhere in the middle. It's somewhere in the middle of that, where we're doing a rendering, something like one A, B, and C. But doing tonal studies trains the artist to see and value, which is something that when you're learning how to draw is really important. Tonal studies are done to identify and replicate the value pattern of a 2D piece, and they're typically done like before a major work. So like if I were to make a painting of like the crap on my desk right now, I would probably do some compositional studies first, and then a tonal study or two, and then make like a large painting off of that. So that is kind of like essentially what that looks like. And this is a good breakdown of a tonal. This is like an eye flow, sort of like a compositional sketch. And then this is a tonal composition, and then this would be the finished piece. So that's what you guys are going to be doing today. So this is another few examples of that. And this is a study of the boy Lincoln for a larger piece by Eastman Johnson. And you can see that he studied how the light and dark would hit the face of this is supposed to be like a depiction of young Abraham Lincoln. So you can see that this is just like a really kind of detailed black and white. And oftentimes tonal studies are done on, they're oftentimes done on like toned paper. And so if you guys are interested in doing that, you can, but again, I'll go over that in a minute. And this is a really interesting like side-by-side here, which is, this is Toe Line by Frank Brangwyn, I think that's how you say it. But what we've done here is up to the contrast significantly, just to see the pattern of light and dark a little bit more clearly. So you can see on the right, I've done a little bit of analysis here. And it says areas of major dark and light remain connected to one another, emphasizing the collective effort of the toe line. So as I said before, like when you have things overlapping or touching, they do read as a unit more than if they were like very disparate. Excuse me for 1 second, guys. Sorry, guys, my dog has like really bad separation anxiety, so she's just gonna need me for a little bit. So anyway, the areas of major dark and light remain connected to one another. So again, this is just like emphasizing that collective effort of the toe lines. So they're all pulling, and they are all being depicted as like a strength in numbers type of action. And a couple other things I noticed were the heads of the workers are moving further away, decreasing in size and furthering the illusion of a slow process. The stacking of the figures helps to create forward motion as well. So they're all kind of stacked up and they're getting smaller as they recede. So that's a couple of notes on that. And then this is a painting by Howard Pyle. So he was one of the artists in the golden age of illustration. And he positioned his focal point slightly off center. So I noticed when I upped the contrast in this image, you can really like notice that the focal point is just a tiny bit off center. And there are a lot of things that are kind of leading you right up into it. So obviously when you do that and you get a piece directly off center, that's giving you a dynamic composition, more dynamic than if it were perfectly in center. The darks and lights remain connected to one another, moving your eye through the piece. And unlike Towline, Pyle disperses values more evenly through the piece rather than tightly grouping them. And so he's got his values moving a little bit more completely through the piece. And the water in back of the mermaid's hair appears to be joined in the water, which I think is a really interesting little piece here. And that kind of gives you that sweeping motion, almost like insinuating that the water and the human are one, which like makes sense because the piece is called The Mermaid. But the fact that it doesn't break, really gives it that connectedness. And I said that the merman, I don't know, he appears to kind of like mimic the cresting of like a wave. I almost see this as like a wave shape here. And I thought that was obviously appropriate, but it does kind of sweep your eye into these embracing figures. And it travels back into the water. So I read this as sort of like almost like a loop going right back down. And then the foam on the surface, kind of similar to the smoke in the image that Damien analyzed, the Queen Maeve by Leyendecker. It gives you a kind of similar effect where it's breaking up that surface, that dense surface of the water that could be, otherwise maybe a little bit open. And also one more thing I thought was really important is that the foam on the top of the water is sort of creating like a circle, just encircling these forms. So that's further emphasizing that they are the focal point. And I'm just actually noticing now they're not breaking the horizon line of the water at all. So that sort of really hits it home that these people are like mer people maybe, and they are of the water, and there is almost like no separation between the water and these like humans. The fact that they don't break that surface at all is sort of indicative of that. And then the final piece here that I've got, this is Steve Huston, who's a contemporary painter, but this is a really interesting image because when you up the value, similar things are happening, where he's pictured the human's head just like a little bit off center. His arms are sloping down, but the entire shape of his arms holding that rope never leave the image. So we have that completedness that we would look for otherwise. And I also noticed the figure's right side is kind of sloping down and sort of anchoring itself, like his like torso and his legs are sort of anchored in the bottom right corner of the image. So even though it's cut off, we have enough information to kind of perceive what's happening. And it also kind of is conveying extreme motion. And one of the things I noticed about that were the extra little strokes of paint that he's left in there. And that sort of like gives you almost like a vibration of like movement. So I was really getting the extreme motion there. So that is my presentation on tonal studies. So I'm gonna give you guys a quick little brief of what I would like you to do for your next assignment and then for homework. So obviously, we've got like 3 hours for this class, but I think that kind of going over things as a group, like the homework, going it over quickly at the beginning of class, doing a little bit of a check-in and introducing new material is probably going to be more helpful. And then I've decided to generally use like the second half of class for workshopping like in-class projects, getting ideas down, and then me just being available to you guys as you need me, if you need me. So in other words, what I'd like you to do is, this is in the, there's a new folder on the course content page. So if you go to the course content and you hit in-class assignments, there's in-class environmental / tonal composition studies. So what I would like you guys to do for in-class today. So this will mean you guys can start these after we finish our Zoom call, and I'll be available to you guys as you need me via Zoom or via email. But you can get started on these, and I'd like you to submit them either by the end of the day today or by tomorrow morning as like your in-class work. But what I'd like you to do is I would like you to kind of observe whatever your space is, wherever you're working, wherever that may be, if it's your house or your bedroom even, or, you know, a garage or something. I want you to just look around and notice kind of things that are around you. So the scope of this is not limited in any way. So, and what I mean by that is if you're looking at your desk and you see a cluttered space with a bunch of stuff on it that maybe is interesting stuff, but maybe if you arranged it in a different way, it would be even more interesting to look at. I would kind of like you guys to make some tonal studies of these spaces and of these objects. So whatever grabs your attention, I want you to kind of do a couple of tonal compositional studies. So that means, you know, if I wanted to draw like this roll of tape here in my cell phone and this cup, I would probably work it around a little bit. Just start with like a few basic things, work it around and move it into an interesting way, and figure out like what the most interesting way to draw these would be, and then just do like a little tonal sketch. And I have some examples down here of tonal sketches that I did. So this is a tonal sketch of a Zorn piece, and then I did one of the girl with a pearl earring, which is Vermeer. And oh, hold on one second. Sorry guys, my dog is an alarmist. So she just laughed. So okay, anyway, these are two studies that I did. So this is a Vermeer, this is a Zorn. But you can see basically what it is it's a sketch, and I'm using the tones, and I'm just kind of blocking them in. Like I really didn't go into detail on this face of Vermeer here. I really didn't go into detail on the Zorn, any of the faces or anything. I just did major areas of light and dark. So your assignment is to pick either like, you know, some things on a desk that are interesting, you know, like maybe a corner of a room, pictures hanging on a wall, anything that you find interesting. And arrange it in a couple of interesting ways, and then do just a few sketches. And it's the same kind of format. I'd like you just to go into the class assignments folder, and then you can click onto this, and this prompt should come up. And then you can just hit reply to it and post your images. So I'd like you guys to do that. And I don't know if I have a due date on it, but I'm going to change the due date to, I would say I would like it in by like tomorrow. So that'll be 3/27. So I'd like you guys to just pass these in, and we'll kind of take a look at them next class. But that is what you guys are going to do today in class. But that essentially is going to be, you know, whenever we're finished with this Zoom call. So that will be again on the course content page, and that'll be in class assignments. So you're gonna
sorry, question.
Yeah, go for it.
So the in-class assignment is just like our homework, correct?
Yeah, so I'm gonna give you guys yeah, I was originally gonna have you guys just everybody like stay on the Zoom call, and then I could be accessible to you. But I don't necessarily think that's gonna be super helpful for people. So I'm just gonna say, if you want to like meet with me individually, like if you have questions like during class time, then you can just let me know. I'll write your name down, and I'll just do like an individual Zoom call with you, and we can just kind of walk through it. But yeah, this is like an in-class assignment, but it'll be due sooner. It'll be due like tomorrow rather than for homework. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but we don't have another assignment, just that one that you just mentioned, correct?
So I think that I was going to give you guys another assignment for homework as well, just to do like over the weekend. So you do this one like ideally after this call ends, and then you can pass it in either tonight or tomorrow. And then I have a homework that's sort of similar. So I'm going to go to that, and that's on the course content page. So that'll be under the assignments here. And what I'd like you to do for this one is, it's very similar to what you did last night, but I have a document in here, and this is called the Tonal Studies All document. And basically, if you go into it, it's like a similar thing. So you can just pick any of these works and do exactly what I did with my examples here, and just do a tonal study. And they don't have to be very large, they can be fairly small, but I just want you to do 3 of those, and those will be due by Tuesday. So you'll have one assignment due either by the end of today or tomorrow morning, or tomorrow latest, and then this assignment will be due Tuesday, so you'll have more time to work on this. Is that gonna make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, and does anybody have any questions about that? That's sort of the format of this. So essentially, I'm giving you guys the assignment, the in-class assignment, which will be in course content under in-class, and you'll do that ideally, like finish it up today. I am available for, Zoom calls or emails or whatever is easiest for you. We can do check-ins, but this little in-class assignment will be a precursor to like a larger assignment. So you'll just do those and pass them in, and then we'll work with them again on Tuesday. That kind of makes sense to everybody, generally speaking. Does anybody have any questions about this? It's the same format. You're just going to pass it in on the discussion board. And if you do have any questions, let me know, because I'm happy to obviously reach out and work with you separately. But I think that's, yeah, that'll be it. Otherwise, guys, I will let you go, and your homework is to finish this up and then do the additional like tonal studies, which will be due on Tuesday. So again, if anyone has any questions, just please chime in. Otherwise, that's all I have for you guys today. And I'm literally just like, I will be at my computer. So if you guys want to either Zoom chat or email me for reference or opinions on the drawings, I'm available. But otherwise, I will let you guys go for today. Okay?
Okay.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, again, any questions, let me know. Everybody stay healthy and safe, and get outside as much as you can, because this is a very weird time, but it's sunny here where I am, so hopefully it's sunny where you guys are too, and you're able to kind of enjoy that. Otherwise, guys, I will see you on Tuesday for same time, another Zoom meeting. Okay?
Okay.
Sound good? All right, guys. Have a good weekend, okay?
Thanks, you too.
Thank you. You
Thanks.
too.
Bye-bye.
Bye.